And welcome back to the shit behind the show, everyone. It's a new week, a new topic. Whew. I am proud of myself. I have found a topic for every day of the week and thoroughly enjoyed it. So last week, I kind of touched a little bit on the subject of love languages. This week, I am going to dive fully into each of the love languages, what they mean, and why we have love languages. So basically, a love language is just a way that you receive love and show love. Example, say it's physical touch, which we'll get into more. If my partner is constantly holding my hand, hugging me, then I feel loved. That's how I perceive love. If there is one way that my partner perceives love that's different than me, and we don't communicate this, then they're probably not going to feel like they're loved. That's why I feel like they're important. I will say that years ago, when I first started dating, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, I had no clue what love languages were and that it was even a thing. And so as I started to do my work and go along my healing journey, it was brought up to me probably in therapy. And I'm pretty sure, and my therapist was like, so what are the ways that you perceive love? One of my downfalls in relationship years ago, and I've discussed this a few times, is I never felt like I was loved. I never felt good enough or lovable, which is super important and something that I can dive into later. I've touched on that a little bit in the past 4 years, but it is something that I had to work through. A lot of it was gaining self-confidence, doing my own work, loving myself. And part of that was discovering what ways I perceived love, what ways I liked my partner to engage with me in order for me to feel loved. Well, I had been in a relationship where he felt loved by gifts. He loved to receive gifts. So he was always buying me things and taking me shopping. And while I loved that, he could never understand why I didn't really feel a connection or feel loved. And later I had to, after I started diving into this was way before my healing journey. I realized, well, that's just not my way of receiving love, right? Was it nice? Absolutely. I still appreciated it. And in my opinion, we have the few, 1, 2, 3. I have 3. But really, honestly, all 5 are great and appreciated. And just little ways that we show our partner that we love them and little ways that they can show us. So the first one is words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. Let's not do this again, Christine. I think my brain works faster than my mind or than my mouth. See, it's like going, and my mouth is trying to catch up. Hello. Anyway, so showing that you love someone with words of affirmation means showing them through speaking, through words, which makes sense, right? So the good morning text, the I love you, I'm thinking about you, how was your day? I hope you have an amazing day. You're beautiful, you're handsome. And on the flip side of that though, words hurt more when you're in an argument. That is one thing that I have found. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never know. Words hurt. The tongue is a strong muscle and it can cut deep. And that's one thing I had to overcome years ago, because while words of affirmation were my love language and something that I appreciated, it was also something that I used as a defense mechanism. Then I would fight back with words and I would hurt. I would have men that were the strongest men ever just looking at me like, "Ow, wow, that was mean." Like, and I happen to be really witty. And so I could just come at them. I've discovered that's not okay, because on the flip side of that, if they attacked back with words, I took it very personal. I held on to it. I still do. And it hurt me deeply. So I had to fix that about myself. And I'm kind of embarrassed to even admit that I was that way. I mean, okay, I'm not going to lie. Some of them deserved it. I'm kind of proud, but I'm like, dang. Remember that one time when you said that one thing to that guy that really deserved it? And that was good. Like, you should write a book on that. No, but yeah, it was true. So I've had to correct that with myself. And I also will not allow that with a partner. I understand that some people think that words are not a big deal. That's okay. That's not your love language. So that's okay. So, and while I'm discussing all of this, I want you to really ask yourself, if you have not dove into this at all, what ways do I feel loved? What ways can my partner, future partner, past partners show love, could have shown love? And when are the times that I felt like, okay, they did this one thing and it made me feel loved? And really, the 5 love languages aren't something that they're small gestures, or can be, once you figure them out, and once you figure out your partner's love languages. So this isn't like a great big deal where you're like, oh, but I have to put in more effort into this relationship. I hear that all the time. I discussed this the last week. Relationships are so hard and I don't want to put in more work. I'm telling you, if you just apply these tools that I am teaching you and that I discuss every week, I promise you your relationship will feel easier. I'm not going to say that I've gone to years of schooling and anything like that. I have gone along this journey. I'm sharing my journey so you can perfect yours, or at least work on yours. So again, if you just listen to these things that I share, the relationship is not as hard. And I would encourage you to share the podcast with your partner. I can't tell you how many times in the last couple of years that I started the podcast just to help singles, because that's the world I was in. And as I evolved, I've had more couples come to me and say, we listen to your podcast at night. One said, and hi, if you're listening, I'm not going to say her name, but she told me that her and her husband listen before bed. And that's when I was like, oh, I say fuck a lot. And I was like, you listen. And she was fine with it. But I appreciate that. So thank you to all of you that listen to me, especially with your partners, because this can help big time. I hope my podcast and these topics create a conversation for you within your relationships, within your dating life, within self, to where you can discover those things about yourself and correct if you need, like I had to do. So words of affirmation. Again, every morning, I love this about me and my guy. We both share this. This is both of our love language, or both, one of our love languages. And so every morning, even if, very rarely, but even if we have a night where we didn't, had a little bit of a tiff, the next morning, there's always a good morning. We always call, and it's have a great day. We, in my opinion, are starting our day off right. When we're together, I get a lovely snuggle in the mornings. I get a hug. He tells me I'm beautiful in the mornings. He's so sweet that way, because he knows that that is my love language. I joke a lot in my podcast. Tell me I'm pretty. Just tell me I'm pretty. I'm kind of serious. And he does it. He dotes on me. He's very charming that way. But I reciprocate, and I'm the same way. And we share that. And I love that just by using your words and being kind to one another and complimenting one another, you are showing them, yes, I'm thinking of you. Yes, you matter. Yes, I love you. And yes, I understand that this is important to you. One thing to remember with the love languages is you're not going to have the same as your partner all the time. I got lucky because we're pretty aligned with that, but they're not going to be the same. So just because your partner doesn't want to express with words how much they care about you, they may be with their body language or gifts or time, which I'll get into all of these. But that doesn't mean that they don't care for you. It just means they may not understand. And I think it's super important that you take the time to understand yourself. Like, okay, this isn't something that I would appreciate, but my partner does. And so I'm going to go the little bit extra mile and show them. I want to share a story because I'm super proud because I'm mom. And I'll leave certain details out. But my daughter-in-law was just gone on a trip with the kids, with their kids, my grandkids, and my son did not go. And she came back and he sent her a message and said, hey, and this almost makes me want to cry because I'm so proud and it's so sweet. He said to his wife, hey, I know you are stressed out, worn out from the week with the kids. I booked a pedicure for you tonight. Take the evening off and I'm taking the kids. And she was just like, her face when she was talking about it just lit up. And she was like, I have the best husband in the world. How much effort do you think he had to put into that to make her day and to show her that he loved her? It's very little. Yeah, he booked the pedicure. I'm sure he paid for it. But it's just the smallest little gesture. And then to take the kids for her. And I know he was up really late and he was still willing to do that just to show her, hey, I see you. I love you. I know you've been dealing with the kids alone. Let me help you. Let me make life a little bit easier for you. And isn't that just so simple? Doesn't that just seem so simple and easy? Like, just to show our partners, I just want to make life easier for you. I'm here to create peace and a place to find that, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm here to create a space where you're at peace, where you find love, where you feel love, where you feel like, I called a safe space and it feels at home. That's what I was looking for. It feels at home. That's so important with partners. That's why I always say 100-100. Partnerships are not 50-50. They are 100-100. I had a complete meltdown on Friday. Guys, I had a meltdown bad on Friday. And I'm not proud of it. But it's important that I share this because you all need to know that we're all human. And even perfect little me, who pretends to know it all, but then I'm a girl. My poor guy. So yeah, last week was just kind of a struggle. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the moon or hormones or can I blame it on the moon? Is that a thing? Because anyway, I had a meltdown. Poor guy. And I expressed, how I was feeling to him. And before I expressed what was going on up in here in my head, I was just having a meltdown. And he was like, you've got to communicate. You've got to talk to me. And I finally just cried and I told him what was going on. That guy has been there for me and held space for me in that way that I really, really need it ever since. Even when I was being a brat. And I owe him. I'm telling the world right now that I owe him. Anyway. But it was more important for me to just suck it up and be real and vulnerable in the beginning and let him know, communicate, this is what I'm needing right now, this is what's going on, than for me to just try to handle it on my own and then later I imploded. And so it's very important to communicate your love languages and the things that make you feel safe and create that place of home and that safe space so your partner can do that for you. how many times have you heard, oh, but he won't blah, 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 blah. He won't buy me jewelry. He won't send me flowers. He has not blah, blah, blah. Or she doesn't put out, or she doesn't. But have you told them that this is what you need? Or are we living in this world of expectation where they know me, they should know what I need? Also, I'm a true believer in the fact that love languages can possibly change throughout the years. Just as our core values change and we change as humans, the love languages can change as well. So pay attention to that. Also, if you're in a long-term relationship, it's great to check in. I fully believe in checking in, and I should probably implement that into my relationship more. But check in with your partner. How are we doing? Let's go on a date. Let's talk about how we're doing. You know, how are you feeling loved? Is there anything more I can do to feel loved? We had that conversation on this last weekend on Friday night. You know, he came out and asked me, what can I do to make you feel better and help you to feel more loved in this moment? And just he saying that and listening to me meant the world to me. It was like, well, I'm already better because you just held space for me, and I'm just being a ball baby, and it's fine. And crazy wackadoodle women, aren't we? I know we all can relate, but it was just that small little gesture that just meant so much. And he using his words and he understanding, like, okay, I know how to get through to her. I know that she feels love with words. I know that just giving her a hug can help. So anyway, that's love languages for today. And remember, words of affirmation, those little things that you can say that make your partner's day. I just right. Those are the things, if that's our love language, that can really make them feel like you are showing them love and make them feel loved on a daily. Remember. All right, that's all I have for today. I'll be back tomorrow with the next one. And before I go, just thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you all. I have people come up to me all the time and tell me they love my show. I have people sending me messages. I get discouraged just like everyone else. You know, am I getting through to people? Am I really helping? You know, should I be doing this every day? I am an overthinker. And every time I think like that, the universe sends me someone that shows me gratitude right back. So wholeheartedly, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you all listening to me, supporting me, subscribing. Please go subscribe to YouTube, Tan and Blonde. Find me on TikTok, Tan and Blonde. I go live there every once in a while. I'm trying to do it more, but it's hard. Instagram, The Shit Behind the Show. Facebook, The Shit Behind the Show. Thank you again. I hope you all have an amazing day. And until next time, bye. Love you.